and they just ripped into this guy. They destroyed this guy for previous tweets, for filming people without their consent or knowledge, and even if their faces are blurred, putting it on the internet. They reamed this guy. People had their whole social medias erased off of YouTube, off of Facebook. This guy has so much trauma from, Me Too, and he's genuinely fearful for his social reputation that he doesn't even want to risk coming out and talking to the girl. So
for the devil's advocate, was any of it, what would you say is the majority of the anxiety that men have around speaking to women?
It's split. I would say that there's some sort of shame there. I think that's a really big culprit of it. Somebody told them that, you going to talk to girls is wrong. It's bad. Don't do that. Like, men don't talk to women in public. Somebody told them,
why would you go and get in their space? Let them be, or don't be disrespectful or something.
It's a combination of that, and then the Me Too movement hit really hard too, where it's like, oh, if I go talk to this girl, she might say that I touched her, and then, I'm on the hook now with a lawsuit and social ramifications for something that I didn't even do. So they have this impending fear over here, the future. They have this impending fear over here from the past, and they're caught here in the moment, sandwiched in between just anxiety and fear, and they're like,
the fuck do I do?
I'm gonna go build a business. Or
I'm gonna go do breath work. It's so true. It's like the negative, things that have come out of you being told. Because like I think even back to my own self. So it's interesting you described the relationship you had with your mom, because I think I had similar things where it was like shame for doing whatever. It was like always like attention was out of punishing rather than always praise. And I'm saying this having like a loving relationship with my mom, and like all the same thing that you went through is like, oh, she's a fucking kid.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, those things still exist that keep us from going and having these discussions. Do you think this is something that is predominant just in like the US and UK, let's say, versus when I think of the culture in Italy, you have like the Italian man who has like no shame and will go directly up and just like insert themselves into any social situation. And I'm laughing in part because it's like, oh, like this is like what women like desire, in the sense of like, no, like I want someone who comes in and is brave enough to come and have a conversation in this sense. Yet in the US, where we're both from, is a lot of it is saying like, how dare you breach this space? How dare you overstep that quote unquote line? But yeah, is this just a US problem, you think, or is this do you have clients from all over the world, or what do you find?
I have people that message me from all over the world. I can only accept clients from US, Canada, places where economics are very strong.
For sure.
But what I find is, while the percentages would be, more in the favor of, Italy or Africa specifically, where there's a lot of people, that are a little bit more social, like it's just more ingrained in the culture, there's still a majority of men, more than 50%, that really, really, really struggle with social skills. And that's why that's why my account ballooned in the time that it did, because they looked at me and they're like, this guy is doing something that I could never do. Like, they'll go build an 8-figure business before they go knock on somebody's door or go talk to a girl that they think is cute in the street. Like, I think culturally it does definitely produce more outliers, produce more people that are more connected with a more social atmosphere. But I mean, I have people messaging me from all. You take a look at my DMs, man. It is almost every country that you can think of. Like, oh, I'm nervous to talk to this girl, or there's this girl that I like and I don't know what to say. She's in my class. Like, I think just globally where we are right now, across the board, social skills are not necessarily all-time low, but they're not a priority by any means. By any means.
It's really interesting as well. You had a blow up. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you had a blow up after COVID, when like even more we're like so far away. So like we were yearning for essentially what you're doing of just going out and connecting with folks. And now I just want to like switch to a practical solution, which one of the things that I really enjoyed about the ebook and what you did is giving more than you take. Tell me about this concept.
Yeah, and we'll hit that in just a second. I want to give a homage to all the old school pickup guys that are out there, because people had their whole social medias erased off of YouTube, off of Facebook, when the Me Too movement hit, like 2016, around that time, 2015, 2016. When Me Too was, like this guy mistreated me, like filming in private and then posting, even if you had their faces blurred, people had their whole livelihoods taken off of the internet. So I don't know what happened with my timing of it, but I caught like the tailwind of bringing pickup back, quote unquote. That's what my boy Justin Mark says. It's like there was like we were hurting for social interaction for a long time, especially after the Me Too movement. One more time, what was the question?
I think this is. I want to say on this is
Yeah.
really interesting. I had no idea that this was a thing that had happened. So these are old school pickup dudes, and then
Yeah.
when the Me Too movement happened, maybe like 2017ish, 2016, 2017, maybe before that, but around that era. So their content that they would post had like if their social media profiles essentially got eradicated.
Oh,
Yeah, tell me more about this.
Deleted.
Yeah.
They got their whole. People would have 10 years of YouTube content, and even the videos that were unlisted or privatized. If any word got out that this was on the internet, they had their whole things deleted. They had it. Pickup for a long time was relegated to forums, like
Reddit or something.
or like even
Yeah.
even deeper than Reddit. Like
Yeah.
Reddit's a popular news site. Like these pickup websites maybe had like 20,000, 30,000 guys in them in the forums, spreading knowledge, spreading information. So thankfully, like the time that I came in, and I think not only my timing, but the way that I presented it, because I come across as very not creepy. Like there's a lot of guys that come across as creepy or chauvinistic or rude or like hypersexual. If you take a look at my videos, I'm just a happy guy that spreads happiness. You never see a person frowning in any one of my videos. So I think that had also built up to it as well. But yeah, RSD, Real Social Dynamics, these guys at their peak, they were probably pulling in, I think, like $1 million a month in profit from coaching programs and boot camps and helping guys. And then the Me Too movement hit. And then one of the prominent leaders of RSD got filmed or got interviewed on CNN, and they just ripped into this guy. They destroyed this guy for previous tweets, for filming people without their consent or knowledge, and even if their faces were blurred, putting it on the internet, they reamed this guy. They said you're a manipulator. You understand human psychology, and you make girls do what they don't want to do, not by force but by coercion. So the face of pickup was ravaged for years, and I think inside of that lull of time where nobody's really posting pickup, combination of COVID, combination of social restrictions, combination of all of these different things that are starting to add up, that gave way for me to come in and be like, hey, you can talk to strangers.
Yeah.
Hey, go talk to that girl. She wants to be talked to. And it's so funny. Girls will do also the same of like the distraction thing or like making excuses not to talk to a guy. They'll say, oh, if he's not man enough to come talk to me, I don't want him anyways. And they could be her perfect soulmate, but this guy has so much trauma from Me Too, and like he's genuinely fearful for his social reputation that he doesn't even want to risk coming out and talking to the girl. So yeah, dude, there was a time period where it's like, you're getting taken off the internet if you're posting pickup content. So
It was an insane period. I know folks who had gone through it and who had experienced like this type of, you've done this, when in reality the truth is something far from it, but because of the person, like that moment, then everyone would believe what was said about that person, even if it was false. And then when it came out to be false, there was no like amends. There was no like, hey, like we're sorry that like you just got your social reputation fucked. But yeah, but like there was nothing like that. So it was really interesting. Very cool that it is back to a more like natural way of, hey, we can actually talk to each other. For the devil's advocate, was any of it in that period, I guess justified might be a word we could use, or was it all generally overreach? Because I think what you shared is an interesting component, which is your content is very positive. I've also seen you in person do this. Like you always make people laugh. It's very positive, very opening, and it's not necessarily has to be about sex or picking up. But I think from what I've understood and knowing you, it's about just being social. So it's not necessarily so on the nose with like intimacy that's there. And but there are other people who are much creepier in this
Oh, yeah.
in this space, I'll say. So is there any of it that is justifiable, or do you think all of it is overreach?
No, there's definitely justifications there. Like, I opened up the door for a lot of people to get filmed without their consent and posted on the internet.
Which is legal, by the way, right?
Yeah, in the states it's
in
legal.
the States it's legal. Yeah.
You know, there's no expectation of privacy in public. Depending on what state you're in, it could be like a one-party consent, two-party consent. But everything that we do is on the internet anyways, or in a database somewhere, because all the street lights have cameras in them. So I'm not saying it's justified by any means. But there are definitely people that are creepier than other people, and there's other social ramifications. Like sometimes people will post them picking up a girl on an airplane, and she's a flight attendant, and she ends up losing her job because you're not supposed to, exchange numbers with the customers.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff like that happens truly,
Yeah.
and there's social ramifications for that. There's financial ramifications for that. So I can't say without a shadow of oh no, it's completely blown out of the water. But definitely there's dramatizations, and like when it comes to like, I mean, I had a girl try and sue me from Brazil.
What's the story
Yeah,
there?
so sometimes I own it. I'll post up a video without asking for permission. If they ask me to take it down, I'll take it down. But she came at me with a lawyer, and she was like, hey, this is a digital crime in Brazil. We want, X $1,000 for settlement. And I look at that, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. It's just on a moral standpoint. Like, hey, you asked me to take the video down. I apologized about it. You didn't disclose any personal information in it. I didn't say where you lived. I didn't even put your name in it. It's just your face and us having a conversation. But people see me with a brand, and they're like, oh, we're going to get some money from him, or like, this is so wrong. And, I'm like, okay, you are justifiable by your reactions and your feelings. I can't say your feelings are right or wrong. I can only, do my part as a man, take down the videos. But there's definitely, I know what to look for. Like, you do something 100 times, you can tell this person is definitely not okay with this being on the internet. This person definitely didn't know that this, and this. So while it is legal, there's still like, moral questions that you have to ask. And there's going to be some pickup guys that watch this. And it's like, I understand you watch me build my brand, blow up, financial success and social success and all that. For the long run, for karma, it's so much better to get permission from somebody before you post a video. That being said, I understand. It's so much easier. Get a cute girl's number. Just keep it moving. Keep it in the archives for a week. Put up the video. I get it. I'm not perfect. Hey, man, I'll be the last guy to say that I'm perfect. I get it. But if you want like a clean conscience, just ask permission before you post the video. Yeah.
Is that what you typically do?
Typically do.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Yeah.
man, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just so much easier where I'm outside with my boy Artie, and I got the third person, and like she runs off before the video. By the way, I make video. I'm not perfect. I'll never claim it.
And then at that point, is it, if there is a request to take it down?
Oh yeah,
you would?
I'm not
Yeah.
a dick. Like there's no legal responsibility for me to do so, and I take caution to keep people's names out of it, to keep personal information out of it, keep phone numbers out of it. But just on like a respect standpoint, if somebody doesn't want to be on the internet, hey, I understand completely. My life is different. I'm on the internet. I chose this path. It's wrong for me to make that decision for you continuously if you so desire to be taken off. So it's like, hey, I understand.
Would you say the majority are typically like, yeah, go ahead and put me up? Or
Yeah.
Is it, yeah.
Especially in the places that I'm at. Like, I choose places where it's a little bit more free-flowing, like Bali, Playa del Carmen. There's more influencers. There's more of an understanding expectation of, oh, we're outside. It's, the social media era. Now I went to, like, Scandinavia or...
Yeah. You're in Sweden.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot harder to go ahead and get that done there, which is understandable. It's like different cultures have different means of acceptance. And it's like, oh, hey, I just play the game where it's favorable for my odds. That's one thing that I learned from that mentor that's in prison now. It's like he doesn't enter a game if he doesn't think he can win. And it's like that's basic common knowledge. Like why would I go to Dubai where it's illegal to film with the glasses and go to Saudi Arabia where I can get killed, or like my put in prison for something like this. Why go to those places? Why would I do that? And then guys are like, oh, this doesn't work in India, or this doesn't work in Saudi Arabia. It's like, all right, you can move. Like, you are an adult. If you're commenting on my videos, you're over the age of 18, you have an Instagram account. You don't need to be where it is that you are. You're not a tree. You can spread your wings and fly away. Like, go somewhere where it's more acceptable. Go somewhere where people are friendlier. Go somewhere where the women are not as stuck up or not as westernized or modernized. Or it's like, oh, this doesn't work there. This doesn't work there. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. I'm not gonna go find out. You can go do that. I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at.